Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk. I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host for today. We had some. We had some craziness across the state this weekend with this winter storm. And so, of course, we've been doing half-hour updates all weekend long, trying to help prepare everybody, but still a significant portion of the state obviously got hit with a lot of ice. I remember growing up in 1994, dates me a little bit, and the ice storm of 94 up in North Mississippi, which was crazy. This has been equally, if not in some ways, maybe more intense than what we saw in 94. Of course, estimates from the governor and others will come out. We'll see whether or not just how it stacked up, but certainly incredibly devastating for so many people. We still have right now a lot of folks without power. We're going to get to all that. We want to let you know, first off, that this year's winter storm has already claimed 2 lives here in Mississippi, one right here in Hinds County. Now, here's the information that we have at this point. And again, we don't have a lot of information, but we'll share with you what we do have. 66-year-old Bobby Freeman, his vehicle left the roadway on St. Thomas Parkway Saturday night in Bolton. He left the vehicle and was out in freezing conditions. A passerby found him Sunday morning around 9 a.m. in a nearby residential driveway about a mile from where his car went off the road. The Hinds County Sheriff's Department investigating that. Up in North Mississippi, a second person died from the weather in Tishomingo County. 73-year-old Timothy Steele of Iuka froze to death over the weekend after a tree fell on his mobile home, trapping him in his bed. That's according to WTVA. The coroner there, Mac Wildman, said so much ice had collected on the tree that it caused it to be uprooted. And many of you still without power this afternoon as crews continue to work on restoring service. And certainly, our well wishes go with them because they are out there in the elements in below freezing temperatures trying to get this power restored. Right now, more than 156,000 customers across the state remain without power, according to poweroutage.us. And again, some areas of the state not as well served by this service in terms of reflecting that. So you might have an area like Issaquena, for example. They're only tracking one customer there. That one customer's out. We know there are far more than that, even though it's the state's smallest county by population. Over in Yazoo County, they only track 1,300, but we know more than 1,300 people live there. So this number here of 156,000 is a conservative estimate. It's likely much higher than that. And when you talk about the number of people living in a home, those are just customers. Those are just meters. Those are just homes. That means the far greater number of people is in the hundreds of thousands affected. Now, of course, the county with the most outages right now still appears to be Lafayette County, 19,000. You see Alcorn County up in near the Tennessee state line, not far behind, with almost 14,000 out there. As you know, a TVA transmission line went out there and caused widespread outages. TVA, of course, providing the power to those electric power associations, those co-ops up there in the northern part of the state, several counties that are dealing with that. Ole Miss remains closed today. It's not a surprise considering almost 20,000 people without, or 20,000 customers without power, homes, I should say, without power in Lafayette County. If the power goes out at your home, keep these safety tips in mind. Use a flashlight instead of lighting candles. It's a much safer way to see in the dark, and it dramatically lowers your fire risk. Never turn on your stove to warm up your house. And that's because of the danger of carbon monoxide. I know folks growing up, you've heard that that's okay. It's okay to do that. If you've got a carbon monoxide detector in your home and it's battery powered, then, that's different, but still it is not recommended. And of course, you need to be very careful. It's why you don't bring a generator inside the home. It's why you have to be very careful with, you can't use a barbecue grill. You can't use a gas grill inside your home to try to stay warm because of the carbon monoxide danger. If you're using a space heater, keep it at least 3 feet away from anything that could catch fire. You can also help retain heat, and this is not going to help us now, but in the future, by weatherproofing your homes. Cover cracks and gaps around your windows and doors. Sometimes in this kind of weather, if you're without power and you're watching us on the app, we've got many of you watching right now via Facebook and YouTube or our OTT platform. Make sure you can actually put just tuck towels around your window. You can do little things inside your home if you're trying to keep warm, or if you absolutely have to, go into an interior room where you're away from windows. Do whatever you can. Close off doors to rooms that aren't being used, so that, again, what little heat you have from whatever you have, if you have a space heater or something like that, can stay contained. You also want to think about essential items, medical devices, medications, things that need power or refrigeration. And, again, with it being so cold outside, obviously you could put a cooler outside. You could do things like that. It's not recommended. People don't recommend, opening your fridge and just putting things from the fridge outside, because that could open you up to different types of bacterial issues and things of that nature with what's outside. So again, just do what you can to keep warm, stay safe, and there is help that is coming. The governor has said that they are doing everything they can to help restore power. They're also trying to work on restoring, on getting more warming centers and things of that nature. But again, there's a lot of people that are without right now, and especially some of those in areas that are more rural parts of the state, which we have quite a few here, that don't have the ability to travel. Because if you think, we can travel on the interstates, because MDOT did a tremendous job of making sure that all of that is, was treated and everything ahead of time. And they've made sure that at least one lane on interstates is open, and 4-lane highways, as the Department of Transportation's executive director told reporters yesterday. But the downside to that is, you look at areas that MDOT doesn't have any jurisdiction over, county roads. I mean, county roads in these areas of Sharkey County, Yazoo, even up in North Mississippi, are severely crippled right now because of that ice. And so people not just trapped without power, but trapped in their homes and can't really travel somewhere else. So all of these things we're just hoping will improve and improve over time. Right now, that's about 11% of the state in terms of customers without power right now. And it's been like that for much of the last 24 hours. And we want to show you some of the other damage that we're seeing in other areas. People in Yazoo City waking up this morning to more damage from this winter storm. Our Valencia Gavin has more details on that, and she's got a closer look at what they saw when they woke up.
Yazoo County, specifically Yazoo City, was one of the areas that was hit heavily by the winter storms that swept through the state this weekend. Now, this is what you'll see as you come through the city. This tree is blocking the middle of the road on West 7th Street in Yazoo City, and it's also blocking or knocking down a power line here. The power lines are covered with ice. Lots of damage on the side of the roads here in the city. They are suffering from power outages. They're suffering from ice on the roads. So you need to be careful as you're traveling through the area. These storms impacted this city heavily, and the temperatures will not drop until later on this week. So this ice that you're seeing won't melt for a while. So officials are encouraging you, if you see any damage, report it to the sheriff's office so they can get everything cleaned up as soon as possible. And hopefully areas like this will be clear for you, and you'll be able to return to life as normal once these temperatures rise and everything warms up at least a little bit. For now, I'm reporting in Yazoo City. Felicia Gavin, they're on your side.
Well, thank you, Valencia, for that report. Now, of course, it's not just in Yazoo City, and that's part of the reason why it's so devastating. You look up in North Mississippi, as we were saying, particularly the city of Oxford. Look at some of this major damage. left behind as folks continue to deal with power outages, down trees, and ice there. National and state leaders are stepping in to help families impacted by the storm. Oxford police and city officials still ask that everyone stay off the roads, especially this morning in the afternoon when a new sheet of ice will cover the road and it becomes slicker. You have to understand, with us having below freezing temperatures for so long, there's no chance for any of this to melt and actually go away. Lafayette County officials say they deployed power company crews last night to try and get what they could restored.
Already the power lines and trees are coated with one layer of ice, and we know it's going to get heavier. We're probably going to start seeing power outages throughout the night, and that's our main concern for the rest of this event.
He wants North Mississippi residents to be ready to lose power if they haven't already, so those numbers could yet again increase. One town still dealing with the long-term effects of a deadly tornado, now left reeling after this weekend's winter storm. This is the view in Rolling Fork. Our crews traveling there where the ice accumulation has caused dozens of trees to snap and topple over. Icicles hanging from street signs and mailboxes, some measuring more than 2 inches. Sharkey County's EMA Director Frank Eason says that most of the county is without power right now. Many more of you are without power or without water, because pumps in the wells that serve you are not working. Eason says they're waiting for reinforcements from MEMA and from out of state. Well, as crews continue to clear roads and restore power in the Vicksburg area, officials there are telling residents, listen, stay off the roads whenever possible as well. Vicksburg was covered with a glaze of ice after that winter storm moved through Warren County Sunday. It left power outages across that area too. Downed trees and tree limbs could be seen in downtown Vicksburg as well as other areas throughout the county. Overall, road conditions in Vicksburg are relatively dry, but there are some patchy slick spots and parking lots. And again, on some of those bridges, the state's highway patrol says if you see a spot on the highway that's frozen over, please report that to MHP.
Well, if they get on the highway, if they see and they notice that, first call us. Let me call 911, let us know, make us aware of, so we can get MDOT out there to clear everything out. But if you see it's not safe for you, just don't go. Just don't go. Just park, pull over, turn around, and go another way.
Now, power for some of you in the Vicksburg area was restored this morning, including portions of Indiana Avenue. We also want to tell you that the Governor Tate Reeves, says this is Mississippi's worst ice storm. We were talking about that earlier. Didn't know if it was relatively compared to what we saw 32 years ago. He says it's worse than what we experienced in 1994, and it's creating challenges unlike other disasters. Now, the biggest area of concern now is the cold, obviously, with sub-freezing temperatures across much of the state, including those areas without power. In some places, crews can't even restore electricity until major transmission lines are repaired. The governor urging everyone to check on friends and family who may need help or a warm place to stay.
We cannot put our people in known harm's way trying to get certain supplies to certain areas. Everybody wants to go. But it is incumbent upon all of us that we cannot create a catastrophe of our own making until it is safe for our people to do the things that they need to do. That's why the coordination is so very important.
We can sum up our road conditions and road travel in one word, and that is nope. We would love to see y'all, but not zigzagging across 3 lanes of traffic at 40 miles an hour.
Now, the president has approved Mississippi's emergency declaration. The state has requested generators for critical sites like nursing homes and is working to secure more supplies, including water, cots, and other essentials. MDOT said yesterday afternoon that at least 1 lane was open on each interstate and 4-lane highway, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily safe to travel in North Mississippi. And lastly, we want to tell you about, the governor mentioned calling people, checking on them. If that's not an option, there are warming shelters available, but it's again, you have to check MEMA's website for a complete list. But we also want to tell you about what we have here locally. Here in Jackson area for folks who need to get out of the cold, Stew Pot Opportunity Center, the Billy Brumfield Center, Shelter for Men, Matt's House for Women and Children. Of course, there's Shower Power, Gateway Rescue Mission, and the Salvation Army. You can see the full list right now on our website, WLBT.com. WLBT.com. And as we show you that, I'll show you myself here. That way, if you're curious about it, of course, here's WLBT.com. And again, just to be able to find that information, just click on news. And we have that list. Of course, we have a list of colleges and schools that have shifted schedules, which is important. But we also have a list of, there we go, shelters and warming centers opening across the state for these conditions. And you can see all of that all that information, is there, including some for other parts of the state, Grenada. Now, if you want to see more than that, all you do is just go to the MSEMA, I can't spell today, MSEMA.org, which is the state's Emergency Management Agency's website. And you'll see a complete list here as well. This list has been updated throughout the weekend and even into today for many areas in DeSoto. If you're in North Mississippi, there's some areas on the coast. There's some areas in Lafayette County, Lauderdale, Lee County, LaFleur, Sharkey has the Anguilla Community Center is open. It actually opened yesterday. So got some areas there in Smith County, also Tishomingo County. So you've got a lot of different options there. All of that available, of course, on our website and on MEMA's official website as well. And as of right now, 132,000 homes without power, that number dropping a little bit. But again, as you heard that individual from Oxford say, with their EMA there, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. So please use patience and make sure that you have adequate supplies in your home at this point. Again, we're past the point of preparation. Now we're having to deal with whatever we have, because you can't, many of you, if you're trapped in this, you can't just go to a store at this point. Your stores might not even have power at this point. So just do whatever you can to stay warm. Reach out to family members, reach out and see if you can get help. And of course, we hope that that power can be restored very quickly, and that we won't have to worry about that, because seeing a map like this is very alarming. I mean, look at all of those counties that are drastically affected by this. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Sorry about that. It's a lot for line crews to deal with. It's a lot for, everybody kind of strained at this point. We want to get to some of your comments very quickly. Britt saying, hey, everyone, stay safe and warm. Hope you are too, Britt. Thanks for that. Melissa Price saying, hello, Melissa. Hope you're doing well. Melissa saying, I pray everyone be safe and the lights get restored as soon as possible. That's all you could want. And that's all we could hope at this point. Jan Gibbons-Hendon saying she's watching. Jan, appreciate you there. And Jonathan Cox is asking here if Sun Valley Center in Brandon is closed for tomorrow. You know what, Jonathan, we'll check for you, and I'll show you how you can check real quick before we let you go. Because again, so if you go to our website, WLBT.com, and you'll see college and school information here. I don't know. We're going to find out if we have. We also have a list of closings, by the way, the very top of the website. And from here, you can actually search your organization. So he's talking about Sun Valley Center. Doesn't look like it's listed. So we're not sure if they're closed or not. So what I would do, Jonathan, is I would just try to reach out to that particular organization directly and just try to get that information from them and go from there. Check their social media. They may have updated that as well, and just see with the sheer number, we try to make sure that we have closings for schools, private and public, universities, obviously. When it comes to, daycares and, church affiliated organizations and things like that, it becomes so many. It's not always easy to get all of those out there. And so, because we have hundreds of churches and daycares just in the central Mississippi area alone. So, but check with them and see. And again, we appreciate you. Pamela Tillman Brown asking, will school be in tomorrow? Well, it depends where you're going. And again, we have the latest information on that on our website, WLBT.com. You go there, there's a little tab at the very top that says closings and delays. Check there to make sure and see before you head out to make sure that your school is going to be meeting tomorrow or not. We appreciate you watching this edition of the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk Update. That title is so long, but we appreciate you. Again, I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host. We'll be back here again tomorrow at 1 p.m. And please stay safe, stay warm, and make sure that you're checking on folks if they're in these affected areas. Please, as these linemen and crews work to get power restored. Thank you so much for watching.